Hi everyone, welcome back to First the Coffee Crochet. In this tutorial we're going to go over how to make the Marina wave baby blanket. This pattern does create a wave pattern, but it only uses the basic stitches of single crochet, half double crochet, and triple crochet. And we will go over how to do all those in this tutorial. For this baby blanket, I did use the Caron Simply Soft yarn, and it does use a total of 1,240 yards of yarn, and 3 colors are used. You have color A and B, which are used for your alternating waves, and color C is your accent color, which is used between the waves and around the border. If you do use Caron Simply Soft, you will need 2 skeins of each color in order to complete the baby blanket. You will need 2 crochet hooks for this pattern. The 6mm crochet hook is used for the foundation chain, and the 5.5mm hook is used throughout the rest of the pattern. It is also optional to use a 5mm hook for the side borders. You'll also need scissors and a yarn needle to weave in your ends. This pattern is written in US terms, and your initial chains at the beginning of the row do not count as a stitch. The multiple for this pattern is 14 stitches. And for your foundation chain, you'll do it in multiples of 14 with an additional 5 and 1 stitch onto that. The 5 is for the end of the pattern, and the 1 is for the foundation chain. Weaving in your ends is a good idea as we go along. If you are somebody who doesn't like having a lot of ends to weave in at once, you're not going to be happy towards the end of this pattern. Now, to change the color of the yarn, how I do it is to swap out the color right before completing the last stitch of the row, and I will go over that also in this pattern on how to do that. For washing the baby blanket, I usually wash mine in cold water on the delicate cycle, and depending on the yarn, I might use a mesh wash bag to throw it in just to help prevent pilling in the future. It's also a good idea to either lay it or hang it out to dry, or if you have the option on your dryer, use a low temperature. And the finished size of this blanket is 34 inches by 34 inches. This is a look at our wave repeat. As you can see, the pattern repeat is 14 stitches, and it starts at the single crochet stitches and ends at the second half double crochet stitches. As always, there is a written pattern available on my website, and I will leave a link for that in the description down below. It'll have all the information on the yarn used, different palette color options, and it will also have all the stitch graphics that go with this pattern. Okay, to start out for our foundation chain, you'll be starting with your first color, color A, and we'll be starting with the 6mm crochet hook. You want to make a foundation chain of 118 stitches. The repeat multiple for our wave stitch is 14 stitches, and for this baby blanket we'll be doing 8 multiples of that plus 6 stitches on our foundation chain, giving us a total of 118 stitches. Okay, so after you finish your foundation chain, we're going to swap out our hooks, take out the 6mm, and use the 5.5. Now for row 1, we're going to be going all the way across our foundation chain doing half double crochet stitches, and we'll be working in these back loops on our foundation chain. We'll be starting in the second one from the hook, so that's the first and this is the second. So you'll just yarn over, insert your hook into that back loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Now we'll just do this all the way across our row. At the end of row 1, we are going to start doing our first wave. So you'll want to chain 2 and turn your work. Now I'm going to go over the entire row, all 117 stitches of this wave with you. I will put markers down in the bottom so you can skip ahead to whichever row you need the information on, or if you don't want to sit and watch all 8 iterations of this. In our first stitch, we're going to start with a half double crochet. Okay, for the next 3 stitches, we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch. So you'll insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. And we'll do that 3 times. Next, we're going to increase again by going up to a half double crochet, and we'll do 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Then we're going to increase again, and over the next 2 stitches we're going to do a double crochet stitch. So you yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, and it'll give you 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. So we'll do that in the next stitch too. And now we're going to increase again, and we're going to do a triple crochet stitch in each of the next 3 stitches. So you'll yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, and that'll give you 4 loops on your hook. You'll yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops again, and yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. Now do that again in each of the next 2 stitches. Okay, and now we're going to be going back down. In the next 2 stitches, we'll be doing a double crochet in each of those. And now in the next 2 stitches, do a half double crochet in each of those. If you don't want to watch this whole row of this wave stitch repeated over and over and over again, you will be doing a wave stitch a total of 8 times in this row. So from here on out, just repeat this pattern 7 more times across row 2. And then in the next 3 stitches, we'll be doing a single crochet in each of those. Now we'll be going back up and doing the second wave. So in the next 2 stitches, we'll be doing a half double crochet in each. And then in the next 2, a double crochet in each. And then over the next 3, a triple crochet in each. Now we're going to start going back down again. So in the next 2 stitches, a double crochet in each. Followed by a half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then a single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Okay, now we go back up again to do our third wave. So next 2 stitches, we do a half double crochet. Now we do a double crochet in each of the next 2. And now we do triple crochet in each of the next 3. And back down again, so we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches, a half double crochet in the next 2, and now a single crochet in the next 3. Going back up again, we do a half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 2, and a triple crochet in the next 3. Double crochet in the next 2, going back down again, and a half double crochet in the next 2. Now in the next 3, go ahead and do a single crochet in each of those. And now we start going back up again, so a half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then a double crochet in the next 2, now we do a triple crochet in the next 3. Then back down, do a double crochet in the following 2 stitches, then a half double crochet in the next 2, and then we do a single crochet in the next 3. Now going back up, a half double crochet in the next 2, a double crochet in the next 2, and then a triple crochet in the next 3. Now we go back down again, double crochet in the next 2 stitches, half double crochet in the next 2, and now a single crochet in the next 3. Then back up again, so a half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 2, and a triple crochet in the next 3. Now we go back down, do a double crochet in the next 2, half double crochet in the next 2, single crochet in the next 3, now back up one last time, do a half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the following 2, now over the next 3 stitches, do a triple crochet in each, Now we go back down, do a double crochet over the next 2 stitches. And then a half double crochet in each of the next 2. Right, we should have 4 stitches left here. And we'll be doing a single crochet in 3 of those. Right, and in this last stitch, we end with a half double crochet. Okay, so for row 3, I'm going to go back into doing just half double crochet all the way across. So chain 2. Go ahead and turn your work over. Okay, this does not count as a stitch, so we'll be starting in this first stitch here. Go ahead and do a half double crochet into that stitch. And we'll be doing a half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. When you get to the end of this row, don't finish your last stitch because we will be changing out our color. Okay, so at the end of row 3, go ahead and start your last half double crochet stitch, but don't finish off the stitch. Leave 3 loops of your color A on your hook. Now we're going to be switching to our accent color or color C. So go ahead and grab that and put that on your hook, and you will pull that through all 3 loops in order to finish off this stitch. And that way we can change colors seamlessly. And once you pull this through, go ahead and cut the tail off for your color A. And then we will be continuing on with our yellow color here for the start of row 4, and we'll be using that for rows 4 and 5. So to start row 4, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And we will be starting with a single crochet stitch in this first stitch. And we'll be doing single crochet all the way across the row in each stitch. We will be doing the same thing for row 5. So when you're at the end of row 4, go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and you will do single crochets starting in the first stitch all the way across for row 5 also. When you get to the end of row 5, don't complete your last single crochet stitch because we will be switching to our second color or color B at the end of row 5. Okay, for the second wave, after you've finished the 2 rows of single crochet of the accent color, I'm going to go ahead and switch color at the end of that row to your second color. And we're going to pull that up to finish off that last single crochet stitch. From here, we're going to do a row of half double crochets. So go ahead and you will want to chain 2, turn your work. So this won't count as a stitch. We'll be going into this first stitch, do a half double crochet. And we're just going to do these all the way across the row. Okay, so after you finish your row of half double crochets, the next row in this second wave, you'll want to chain 2, and then you're going to turn your work. So once again, this will not count as a stitch. We'll be starting in this first stitch here. Now, we're going to be mirroring this wave down below here. So on this first wave, we started with a half double crochet and then went into single crochets. So we'll be starting with a double crochet here and going into triple crochets. So your first stitch will be a double crochet. Now we're going to do 3 triple crochets in the next 3 stitches. So now we'll be going back down after we've gotten these 3 triple crochets. So going to do a double crochet and then another double crochet. And now we'll do a half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Right. And from here, we will go back into doing a full wave. So our wave starts with 3 single crochets, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. And then we start increasing by doing a half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Then we increase again, doing a double crochet in each of the next 2. And now we're at the center of the wave, so we'll be doing 3 triple crochets. And if you look down here, these are the 3 single crochets. So we're right over top of it, just mirroring, just doing the opposite of what is in the previous wave. Alright, so after you've done your 3 triple crochets, we'll be going back down again. So we'll do a double crochet in each of the next 2. Then a half double crochet in the next 2. Right, and now you'll be going back into doing 3 single crochet stitches and starting another wave. So we'll be starting a wave and doing a complete wave 6 more times in this row. Okay, after you've completed 6 more full waves, you should have a total of 7 full waves on this row. To finish off this row, we'll start with 3 single crochets. It'll be right after the end of that wave where you stop at a half double crochet. So we have 3 single crochets here. Then we'll do half double crochet in each of these next 2 stitches. And then we'll do a double crochet in each of these next 2. Okay. And then in these next 3 stitches, we'll do a triple crochet in each of those. Right. And then in this last stitch, we'll do a double crochet stitch. Right, so for the next row, we'll be doing another row of half double crochets like we did in this first one of this color. So you'll chain 2, and then you'll turn your work. And as usual, this doesn't count as a stitch, so we'll be starting in this first stitch here, and then just do a half double crochet. And we'll do a half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. On your last stitch of this row, don't finish off the stitch because you'll be changing back to the yellow. Once you're on the last half double crochet of the 3rd row of your 2nd wave, we'll be going back to doing our accent color, which is yellow, or whatever color you chose. So don't finish off that last half double crochet and hook up your accent color and then pull that through to finish off that last half double crochet. So now we're going to be doing 2 rows of single crochet of our accent color. So to do that, you'll chain 1, and turn your work. And just like we did in these previous 2 rows, starting in this first stitch, we're just going to do a single crochet. We're going to do that all the way across. And then we'll do 1 more row of the single crochet coming back. Okay, at the end of your second row of single crochets in your accent color, we're going to be switching back to the first color here. So we'll grab that color to finish off our last single crochet stitch. Okay, so this is where we're going to be going into the repeat for this pattern. Okay, so your row repeats for this is a 10-row repeat, with rows 11 through 20 being the same as 1 through 10, with the exception of row 1, of course, being half double crochets into stitches instead of chains. We just finished up through row 10. So the repeat will be 10 rows. Starting in row 11, we're going to go back into color A. And then after you finish row 13, rows 14 and 15 will be back into the accent color, color C. And those will be your 2 single crochet rows. After finishing those 2 rows, rows 16, 17, 18 will be your color B. And then for rows 19 and 20, that's going to be back to your accent color again. And you will be repeating this. After you finish row 20, you will repeat this 8 more times, so that'll take you up through row 100. For rows 101, 102, and 103, you will be going back to doing color A again. And that's where you will finish off the body of your blanket. Once you've finished your last set of wave rows, you should have a total of 21 of these wave rows. You're going to go ahead and tie off this. And then you're going to want to weave in all your ends. So if you haven't been doing that as you go along, you're going to need to take a little bit to do that. And then once we get all the ends woven in, we're going to start on our border, which is going to be our accent color, or color C, which in this case will be the yellow. Okay, so to do our border, we're going to swap this out, and we're going to start in this last stitch here. And our first round of the border is going to be single crochet stitches. So you'll just pull up a loop, and then chain 1, and do 3 single crochets into this corner. You can go ahead and tuck in the tail here and just proceed to single crochet around that. So do 1, 2, and 3. And this is basically just going to be evenly spacing single crochets out. There's not an exact number. You're just going to want to make sure that they are evenly spaced, they aren't bunching up together, or they aren't pulling each other very tight. Once we get through this, go ahead and try to count the stitches that are on this side. So when you get to the other side, you can have the same number of stitches to keep it even. If you do find that you're bunching up as you're going down, try to space out your stitches a little further. You can also go down a hook size and use a 5mm, and that can help prevent bunching. So we have 1 stitch here in our corner, so now we're going to go over to this and just do a single crochet. And just go into here, do another single crochet. Now I do find if you go down a hook size when you're doing along the sides here, going back up to the same hook size when you're doing the top and bottom where you have the stitches that are already that size is helpful. So we're just going to go all the way around, evenly spacing our single crochets down the side, and then on the ends just single crochet in each stitch. And you'll do 3 single crochets in each corner. And when we come back around, we're going to slip stitch into this first stitch here to join it. So once you get all the way back around, go ahead and join your last and first stitch using the slip stitch. So now for the second row of the border, we're going to do, so now for the last row of the border, we're going to do a half double crochet, but we're going to turn this over and do it from the back. And this way we're going in the opposite direction. And this way it won't pull everything in the same direction as our last border row did. So we'll just chain one, and then in this first stitch, we're going to go ahead and just do a half double crochet. And we'll do one 3 times since this will be our corner stitch. Now all you'll do for this, and this is the last border row, is just go around and in each of the single crochets that you did for the first border row, just put in a half double crochet, and then in each corner stitch do 3 half double crochets. And once you come back around, you'll just slip stitch to join the last and first stitch, and then just go ahead and weave in the rest of your ends. Now you can wash this and block it if you would prefer. You don't have to if you don't want to. And if you like these tutorials, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time a new pattern comes out.